want to make a small banana bowl looking thing, if possible. This wood is kind of punky. It's old. It's part of the, I don't know if it's part of the old maple or not. So we're just going to call it unknown. Let's see what we can do with it. Might be just a large curve. It might actually turn out pretty good. Okay, behind deep. Work that. It's going to have a little bit of nicer edge on this side and busted up stuff on that side, but we'll see how it goes. Make this tenon in here. Do some sharpening. We'll be back. I have it now turned around. Tools are sharpened, but I did not do the sanding. So go ahead and knock out some of the sanding, even though I've already got it flipped over, and then we'll move into getting the bowl portion of it hollowed out. We'll start off with 60 this time. Now I've seen others start at a higher speed while they're sanding and others go slower while they're sanding. I'm finding for myself that a higher speed is working better for me. That also takes more off at a time as well, So when I start getting to the finer sanding, I will then slow it down. Funkiness is still on this side, really heavy. This side's got a lot better. Of course, it's the end grain sides. So these are coming out really good. And I'm probably going to do the same method all the way up, just different speeds from here, so I'll bring you back when we get to that. I just finished sanding from 60 up to 400. I'm going to throw some denatured alcohol on it to clean up the small stuff, little dust particles that I couldn't wipe down, and see what happens. I may have to do some more sanding, but if I can keep this thing together, it has beautiful grain and spalting in it. It's going to look great. Again, if I can keep it together. It still has some dampness from the denatured alcohol, but I have a feeling that this is going to turn out great. Unhook this camera. A lot of light on this right now, but look at all those different colors. Look like little lightning bolts there. Well, cross our fingers. Let's see if we can get this thing going again. We'll work on the inside now. We are back for hollowing the inside of this. It is very tall compared to the other banana bowl that I did out of another piece of log. It was a little bit longer, so it had more of a banana boat, and more of a boat shape to it. This one's going to be tall. It'll still have some of the features, but I think the spalting and the design in the wood is going to be the key to this, not really the shape. Let's get turning. I believe that might be as long as I can keep this tailstock on. Really do. It's getting tight in there. And I do love this live center. The only problem that I get is the thread keeps coming out. I've used thread locker, the red stuff, and it still keeps coming out and spinning out on me. But it works great. It really does. It's readjusting. Get moving some more. Double check our tightness. Alright, we're still good. Nice and tight. Much better. Oh, just like the flipping it around before I sanded it. After I sanded it, I didn't think about putting on the sanding sealer. So I did that off camera, and that's when I brought you back. We started to do the actual hollowing. And just like the other one, there's pits in here, so it's going to take a good amount of sanding. So I'm going to stop right now with the hollowing. Can't go any deeper. So once I get sanding set up, I'll bring you back. We are back. I have the sanding setup going. I am going to start with 40 grit on the inside of this one just because there is some torn pieces in there. We'll see how it goes, and then I'll go up to 400 like I did on the outside. One reason why you should have a reverse, a lathe capable of going reverse. It really helps with the sanding. Okay, it is time for some denatured alcohol on the inside. I did a light 600 grit on the outside over top of the first coat of sanding sealer. So I'm going to denatured alcohol everything to try to clean it up. And I know that, you know, some people, like, I didn't think that after sanding sealer I should use denatured alcohol. I would think that would mess it up. But I started to watch more videos, and there's others that still get in there after sanding sealer. And after they do a sanding on it, they'll do some denatured alcohol. I even see people do it over top of poly after, you know, between coats, before you put that final coat on. So normally I only do it after the last sanding before I put any other stuff on it. So we'll see how this turns out with that. Oh, definitely this one right here doesn't have any coats on it, so you can see it going right into it. But at least it's going to pull the color out so we can see what it's going to look like when we put the shiny stuff on. Now what I did notice right here, I'm not sure if you can see it, I'll move the camera a little closer up to it or zoom in. Let me see how far we can get in with that one. That's close right there. Right here, there's a little divot, and the reason why there's a divot there is because that's really soft wood, and on the other side of the divot we have the other part of that soft wood. I'll pull that out real quick, go back to 2.3, and we'll take a look. So, ooh, okay, right in here, yep, right in here, that little spot, and then that little spot, I believe, is connected to that little guy right there, which the light is really not helping, but it's a divot. I did notice that discoloration here, and I thought it was a tool mark. Come to find out, it's not a tool mark, it's part of the wood. And it shows up again on this side too. So it's not a boo-boo on my part. But overall, I think this is going to turn out just right. So I'm going to throw on some sanding sealer after this dries, and then after I'm ready, we'll do the polyurethane. See you soon. It is time for some sanding sealer. First coat for the inside, second for the outside. I'm going to have to get more sanding sealer. That's the last bit I got. Typically, if this was deep bark and stuff, I'd be using a brush, but I can just dab this all the way around. It's solid enough, it doesn't matter if I push on it any. Now watch, I say that, and then when I get to another part on here, I'll snap a piece off. Yep, that's some soft wood right there. Sanding sealer should toughen it up a little bit. And I've noticed with really punky wood, if you've got a spot that's all like punky and it was like really soft, if you cover that with sanding sealer, oh, it'll harden it all right, and it shrinks. So we'll see how that all goes. I don't think I have that much of a punkiness in this. A couple spots here. We'll have to see. All right, let it dry out, and I'll take it off, and then I'll do the polyurethane shiny stuff once I get the tenon off. I tend to do a little bit better by hand that way. Okay, now we're doing some polyurethane on this one, and I'll bring you back after it's all done, because we got polyurethane and then remove the tenon. So let's do the polyurethane now, and I should bring you back for the tenon. Let's see. Came off a little early on me, but we can get that off the rest of the way. Really no damage, so we're good with that. Yeah. Better yet. And sand it down. Flatten out that bottom.